Oh, welcome into another edition of the Countdown to Kickoff show here on the Sharp app. I'm your host, Al Walsh. Make sure you follow me there on Twitter at 14a.walsh. And as always, joined by my man, Adam Wagner. Well, I shouldn't say always, but
Man, let's make it a date.
I'm used to doing the show with Paulie at the beginning, and like I always say, and joined as always. But Adam Wagner joining me. You can always hear Adam on the Horn down in Austin, Texas, each and every Sunday morning from 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock local time. However, we all know that we are members of the Eastern time zone, so 10 to 1 out here, and you can listen to that on hornfm.com. Or if you got any of those fancy radio apps or anything like that, you download the mobile Horn app. And also 104.9 in the Austin, Texas area is where you can find the Wags man there. So thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Hoss. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And obviously the roles are reversed here because Wags always the host of his own show. By the way, do some great work on social media with like the Instagram lives and stuff like that. I feel now that I know what it looks like in the Longhorn Network studios, now I feel like I'm actually in there.
You are, well, spiritually, you're there every week and you're the obligatory go-to, man. But this is like, if people were watching us about 5-6 years ago, this is the OG setup. Like, this is, Walsh was the host and we would come on, like, Walsh was always one and I was two. And let me tell you something, it feels so much better to be two. I can't tell, like, it just does. Like, you're riding, you know how it is when you're driving. You got to be paying attention to everything on the road. But when you're riding shotgun, you're messing with the people's playlists and shit. Oh, yeah, and that's just it. We can say shit. We can say shit. Can't say shit in terrestrial radio, man. It gets bleeped out, or you can. You just got an 8-second dump button. But this is great.
Yeah, I remember. I know that there's a couple times where you had to hit the dump button on me, but it wasn't for like bad words. It was borderline-esque. I think I said the word prick one time. I called the guy a prick one time, and you said I couldn't do that.
Definitely can't say that.
All right.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
No, that's cool, man. I didn't know either. We're raw, baby. We're too raw for radio. That's what our show should have been called. Too raw for radio.
Yes, indeed. All right, so week 15 of the NFL season is going to get a lid on it tonight when we have this doubleheader between the Washington football team at the Philadelphia Eagles, and then we've got the Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams. Both home teams, pretty big favorites here. Eagles sitting right now at 9.5. And then the Rams too, right at -7 over there. Did you have a particular lean on any of these games?
Man.
I'll let you lead it off where we begin tonight.
So I honestly, for the next 2 weeks, I'm staying clean with no prop bets or money line bets. I'm not playing any over-unders. I'm just staying strictly focused on fantasy for the fantasy playoffs. And I might be playing a little bit earlier than I thought because if I don't get 40 points from Matt Stafford, I'm shit out of luck. I'm exit stage right. And this is why I kind of hate like fantasy, right? How do you can lead all season long. You can be number one all year long. And then, if you don't have a rule in place to where you get a bye or something, and you got to play maybe you got to play the 6th team instead of getting the bye, or the 8th team instead of getting the bye. It's stupid, Mr. Commissioner. Maybe we should change our rules a little bit. But yeah, you're going to be exit stage right like me if Matt Stafford doesn't get 40-some points or better.
Yeah,
so, yeah I'm deep.
I got a little situation myself tonight. Down 6 in the league with like my girlfriend's friends, right? So this is the league I'm in the hometown.
Win.
Yeah, in the hometown, and they already look at me like, oh, that's the guy that does the bets and all this other stuff. But like in the hometown league, I got the bye week, and I'm very excited about that. This week though, Devonta Smith, Antonio Gibson, down 6 going up against Odell on the West Coast. So that's going to be a tough one. Odell's been getting his lately.
Dude, he has. He's been getting implemented and instituted into this offense, and that's what you want to see, right? Like, you know that OBJ has always had the weaponry within his skill set. It's just, has he been able to unleash it? And you can call Baker Mayfield a NFL quarterback, a pro quarterback, all you want. He's set in his ways, man. You're already starting to see that 3-step drop back, can't find anybody. He's going to rush to roll out to the right and then back, and then throw it away. That's kind of what you're seeing. He's doing his checkdowns a lot. He's hitting Jarvis Landry on the crossing routes. And 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 Austin Hooper as well. Njoku, he's hitting those, and he's also hitting the running backs coming out of the backfield. Never once did he really focus on OBJ in that type of offense. Now under McVay, it seems like OBJ is starting to flourish. Like, he needs a vertical offense. He needs an offense that he can actually be able to stretch the defense downfield and open it up over the top. And then when you do that, when you have Cooper Kupp, somebody like Cooper Kupp that's been as deadly, probably the most deadliest fantasy football player this year. He's been able to just scorch you between the hashes. And now you're allowing OBJ to just stretch defenses and get vertical. This is just a recipe made for success. And OBJ, you're seeing why he's been able to get 15, 17, and probably 25 to 30 points this week. Walsh, I don't know if it looks good for you, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Seattle.
Good, dude.
Listen, Seattle's had their moments of defense, right? And listen, I think that this matchup is going to be dominated by the Rams. I know that it's obviously, not looking good here, for my side in that regard, right? And obviously that's the game that has the 47-point total attached to it tonight. Meanwhile, the two guys that I got are in the game with 40.5 points on the game total. So thanks. Much appreciated.
Dude,
but
so I'm sorry. I got to vent just 1 second, man, because I'm still, it hasn't hit me yet. I have Tom Brady and Kyler Murray for my quarterbacks in Dynasty this week. Like, that's a kick in the dick. Like, that sucks, man. That really sucks, because they were on point. They're my money getters. Also had Derrick Henry, who went down on IR. Michael Thomas. I have my Dynasty teams legit when the people play. It's just, come on, man. That's all. All right, I'm done. I got it out. We're good.
What is the never mind. I got it. We're just trying to tweet out here with all the different things that we got going on. But I guess in terms of prop bets tonight, if we're gonna be looking at let's go to the Rams Seahawks matchup in this one. Let's not forget Tyler Lockett out tonight for the Seahawks. So I mean, listen, you know that by now, right? If you're playing these games, you know that. Alex Collins also listed out about an hour ago. The guys did not get their proper positive COVID tests in, and they will not be allowed to play tonight. Tough situation. We'll certainly get to that at some point. We got plenty of time here tonight. But any other prop bets that you were liking from Rams Seahawks in this one?
No, like I said, I'd stayed pretty much away from prop bets and all the money line issues, but my thing was focusing on my fantasy team. So the prop bets that I usually like is probably targets or over under. Like, let's say, I don't know what DK Metcalf's prop bets are tonight, but there's a pretty damn good chance like you're gonna have to supplement all those targets that Lockett was gonna get. Right now, of course, Lockett usually stretches the defense and gets vertical. Metcalf's going to be able to get those targets. I'm probably somewhere around 7 to 10 targets, I would assume, for DK Metcalf tonight, easily.
Yeah, and it's a tough situation too, because Jalen Ramsey, is he going to shadow him around too?
He'll travel.
Probably opens up a lot of other targets for other guys. I guess Swain is a guy that could kind of have a big night. It's funny, when I was working for Awesemo, they had the player prop bets tool all the time, and Will Dissly was always like a very good, like a good bet, I guess, or a good value bet to where he was, because his prop bet would be at like 2.5 or 20 receiving yards or something along those lines. But you got to get creative against a team like the Rams, and now that they got Von Miller, just an unbelievable defense there that's just star-studded. And where it looked like they were falling out of that, in one of the good spots there in the playoffs, they're back in it now. The Cardinals, as you alluded to, not a great day there in Detroit on Sunday. and my NFC West plus 650 ticket is just ripped into oblivion.
Well, I got to tell you, speaking of, I hate to see your ticket ripped into oblivion, man. That kind of sucks. But speaking of prop bets, I'm taking a look at some of the prop bets here on Sharp, and I got to tell you, first reception, I think it's going to go to Kupp over Metcalf.
Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously this depends on the damn coin toss, but usually, if the Rams win, I would think that McVay would like to go ahead and take the ball and get on the board first, right? I mean, and start to set the tone. That's usually what I've seen him do the past 2 times. So, Maybe is there a prop bet on that? Will McVay take the ball first or elect to kick if he gets the toss?
I think it's some of those like bizarre offshore accounts, but baby, I'm legal these days.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
All legal, baby. All right, so taking a look at the prop bets here on DK Metcalf, 68.5 is the over-under for yards. Most of the juice there at 120 on the over.
Easily
and then
over.
My boy Will Dissly, 16.5. I think he's interesting tonight without Lockett.
Now, see, that's a good play, exactly, because Ramsey's going to travel. There's probably going to be a bracket and a double team on DK Metcalf because he's the most deadliest vertical wide receiver, right? Swain might be able to get into that play, get into that action there. Well, how about Dissly? How about your man Dissly coming off there? What is it? What's the yardage that he's got to get?
16.5.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's a pass, dog. That's a catch. That's a catch. Sign me up. Sign me up twice on Sunday.
So what's interesting, and I wish, when I did more DFS, I had paid attention to this, but if you look at the prop bets, sometimes they tell a story. So Freddie Swain was the guy that I mentioned tonight, right? Over 2.5 catches, but the juice minus 145. There's another one, Van Jefferson Jr. of the Rams, minus 145 at over 3.5 total receptions tonight. So, if you're looking for a flyer, if you're playing the 2-game slate, if you're playing an individual showdown for any of these games tonight, those could be 2 interesting guys right there. I'm looking at, hey, here we go, Wags. This is what I'm talking about, right?
What just hit?
Odell Beckham, 4.5. 4.5 is the prop, plus 115 on the over, minus 145 juice on the under at 4.5.
Take it.
Let's go, dog. If we're talking about fantasy matchups, let's go.
All right, so another thing that I'm looking at too, right? First touchdown. I'm pretty sure first to score is probably going to be Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
But how does that work in terms of like shared with Matt Stafford, right? If Matt Stafford throws a touchdown, does
Absolutely.
the credit go to Cooper Kupp?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so in order for Matt Stafford to get or to be the first touchdown scorer,
he's got to run it over. Right.
I
just wanted to clarify that.
No, absolutely. That's a good question for a lot of people out there that may not have any idea. Looking at some other number, Darrell Henderson Jr. going to be back tonight, plus 625, starting running back there for the Rams.
I like that. I like that a lot. Seattle sucks. They suck at containing the rush. This isn't your old Legion of Boom defense when Dan Quinn was there. As a matter of fact, you're seeing that Legion of Boom defense at the Dallas Cowboys right now because that's where Dan Quinn's the defense coordinator at, which is a scary thought being a fucking Giants fan.
Absolutely, man. Dallas defense, I think at least 15 fantasy points in each of their last 3 games. I got them in my hometown league going after the bye week here. So, yeah, really. And they got Washington on a very, very short week. So, looking forward to that matchup for sure.
What is the worst franchise to be a part of right now? Would you say it's the Washington football team or would you say it's the Jacksonville Jaguars? Because we got some winners to choose from here.
Yeah.
We got Jacksonville. We got Washington. We got my beloved Giants. There's always the fucking Jets. And then I don't know. Detroit. Detroit's pretty bad.
I think there's a little bit of optimism in everything, right? So at least like Detroit has, what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up the NFL standings right now, right? And we're going to go worst team by worst team, right? But who number one worst team?
I would not want to I would not want to have to see Dan Snyder's face. Like put him on the list as one of the like Greg Paulus is up there too, right? For one of the lists that I just want to punch in the face. Dan Snyder's up there. He looks like he's got one of those faces that you could pop.
So here's the thing though, right? Washington has
not a threat, Dan.
They have one of the best facilities in the NFL, right? Like it's gorgeous out there in Ashton, Virginia. So that's a key positive, right? Not only that, you got a really good fan base there in Washington. I wouldn't say it's the worst situation.
It's got good amenities, but the fucking stadium's falling apart.
What about, let's see. All right. So it's a toss up in the AFC. We can agree, I think. Jacksonville, Houston, and the Jets. Jacksonville, at least you got Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick, right? Like there's always optimism in that. Houston, all right. they're 3-11 this season. 2 of their wins were against
I don't want
Jacksonville,
to go to
right?
Houston.
So
Houston's bad.
right. It's
That's
just that's
terrible.
a bad area.
That might be a bad one.
And then the
I'm in
New York
Austin.
Jets. And then the
Houston's
New
bad.
York Jets, they've got Robert Saleh. That's a good leader that I would like to have. A couple up and coming receivers. The running backs have a little bit of talent. Just need to put it all together. But I think we out of the AFC, we're going to go Houston as the worst situation.
No, I'm with you there. You know what else is an enticing factor to come to Jacksonville? And it's only if he's still in the community of Jacksonville. Does Blake Bortles still hang out at like tiki huts and torches and stuff down on the beach, ripping heaters and shit?
Yeah, I think I really think that, he probably he still has some roots there. I mean, he was drafted there as the starting quarterback. I assume that he owns a home.
Yeah.
There's a
I'd
lot
go
of
there
different
just
things.
for Blake. I'd go there just to hang out with Blake Bortles, man. Drinking fucking Mai Tais on the beach.
It's the way to do it.
Oh yeah. How far in Jacksonville ain't too far away from Tampa though. That's your little.
It's about a
that's your
3-hour
little area.
drive.
Well, shit, I'm in Texas. Nothing's too far.
No. But
Yeah,
about 3 hours is the trip that you're looking at there.
right on, man.
Yes, indeed. All right, so I guess we didn't really talk too much about the Washington Philly game yet. We can get into that one. Any sort of a lean or anything that you like there?
I mean, Philly's going to run away with this team. Washington's just dismantled, from the top down. Hopefully, Riverboat Ron can kind of hold on to this thing and keep the reins on it, and so he can keep his job. I do like where he had Washington going on this thing, but I mean, Heineke. You talk about this journeyman, where this guy came from out of your closet or whatnot. He's turned into a legitimate, and I hate saying this damn cliche, but he's become a decent game manager. Now, if he can get his game up a little bit and people can get healthy on this roster, Scary Terry can get going a little bit. And then, I mean, it really sucks that Logan's out or Logan Thomas is out and, all of his main key weapons that he really can't use. It's going to have to be a big day from Gibson. I know you can't have that, but, hopefully Washington's going to have to get him into the mix, but it's looking grim. It's looking brutal for the Washington football team. I think it's going to be all Philly, man. That defense is nasty. You can get them there on the ground, but usually they're going to shut you down through the air.
So Gibson is what I need Gibson in fantasy.
Oh,
today.
Nice. There you go. Yeah. You could be all right.
Yeah, so Gibson and Devonta from the same game going up again. Gibson and Devonta on the East Coast going up against that heathen Odell Beckham on the West Coast. That's how it's going.
All right, so that tag team could get OBJ, but I think OBJ is still going to get his like 17 to 20.
So one thing that I'm very interested in, right? So Washington swept the season series from Philly yesterday, and I wrote an article about both games. If you guys like to check them out on us-odds.com this morning. So in this one, I took Washington, but I actually took it at 6.5, thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe we can get Tyler Heineke, Kyle Allen under center here. Not the case. And I'm all right with that, right? Like, it's okay. But now the line has gone up to 9.5. So I do have, I actually, when I took the bet initially today, it was at 8.5. And then I took it again at 9.5. Just, two small plays there. Kind of combined into one there going with Washington. But the one thing I will say, Washington's defense is very good. So we've got, I'm sorry, their run defense is very good.
It's very good, yeah.
So we got a little bit of a strength on strength going here. Philly, it's one of the top 5 rushing offenses in the NFL. Washington themselves pretty damn good against the run. They are 7th DVOA, allowing the 4th fewest yards per carry this season. So
well, let me ask you a question about that stat. How much is a little bit maybe misconstrued or kind of like false because of the rushing yardage that Hurts provides? Because sometimes it's not all Sanders and it's not Scott doing the work. Scott's been getting able to get busy and nasty after it, but dude, most of the time, I usually see Hurts just breaking down the offense, extending the play, breaking down the defense rather, extending the play, and then scampering for what 20, 30 yards.
Yeah, but so the way that Philly runs their offense, like I think it is part of running the football, right?
Okay.
Like there are designed runs for the quarterback. Obviously, it's not
It's
like
installed, right?
yeah, it's not like
Peterson.
Hurts goes into shotgun, does the Madden 04 Vic, and runs down the sideline. I mean, he's got the ability to do it. I mean,
Right,
he's
no
made
doubt.
some incredible plays this season. I remember that there was that one play against the Saints where he flipped over and everything. Like just fabulous, fabulous work from the man. However, I think that Washington at least keeps this close, right? Garrett Gilbert, guy who's playing quarterback today for Washington. Of course, you know that they're not going to ask him to do a lot. However, on the other side, you know what Philly's going to do. They're just going to they're going to be really like just weird and creative with that run game. And now, listen, it worked. It worked for a little bit, right? But last week they go to Gardner Minshew. It looked like those boys were having a lot of fun playing with the real throwing quarterback again last week. So I'm interested to see how this goes at the beginning of the game. I do think Philly comes out slow on offense just because, like they're coming off a bye week. They had so much fun in that game against the Jets with Minshew at quarterback. I just wonder how that whole changing back to Hurts is going to go for them.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a hiccup. I mean, you can't just go from one quarterback to another quarterback and expect to have natural flow, right? I mean, well, I don't know. It seems to be working for Baltimore somehow. I don't want, and again, that kind of defies Lamar Jackson and his MVP status. I'm not trying to say that Lamar Jackson's a product of the system, so insert Nick Huntley, and Huntley
Right.
gets 20 points. The ceiling's still like 40 points on players like Lamar Jackson. But in this case, right, like Gardner Minshew, he comes in, he can rock out 20 points easily on any given day for fantasy points, right? Where do you go from here though if you're the Philly organization? Because he comes in and he's pretty, he plays a pretty decent game. You want to obviously you want to show your your loyalty to Hurts, who's gotten you this far so far, or seems to be where you're building your franchise off of. But in a in a moment of opportunity, insert Gardner Minshew, and he plays damn near out of his gourd for not being able to get on the field for almost a season and a half, and then
Albeit against the Jets.
for 100%, 100 again, take opposition in mind.
Yes.
However, it's still it's a pro ball club, and
It is.
this guy's hadn't been able to do it against ones. Regardless of what you say, he wasn't going up against the backups. He was going up against ones. So to me, I don't know. I think Minshew's worth another shot. Definitely play. He balled out and had one hell of an interview or whatever to pad to his resume for next year if
Sure.
the Eagles won't retain him. Hurts is definitely the way to go. That's where you want to rock. I think you made a really good point, man. That the offense could be out of sync, probably for the first quarter, and then once that first quarter hits, you'll probably start seeing it take steam a little bit.
Yeah, and we all know Philadelphia, how forgiving of fans they are. So,
yeah, they love Santa Claus too, right?
I better hide my damn hat. But hey, you know what? I got the Phillies hoodie, so
There
it's
you
all
go.
good. The fact that like, all right, if this gets off to a rough start, right? If we're looking at maybe like a 3-0 Washington lead after one, right? And the offense can't get going or anything like that. The Boo Birds, we want
Coming out for sure.
Minshew,
Yeah.
that's just going to be super uncomfortable. So
But
sometimes
it ain't like Hurts ain't felt that before.
and
You know what I mean?
sometimes that home field advantage, man, could be a detriment. So I don't know. So we got about 5 minutes left with you, Wags. I know.
Man, I like this down and dirty, dude. You know what this is? This is perfect. This is just long enough for people to in their car or traveling. You know what I mean? This is a perfect shave.
I dig it. Yeah, like if you pop out of work right at 5:00,
right,
and you maybe you hit a little traffic, maybe you live in my neck of the woods here in the greater New York City metropolitan area, like that's what could happen.
and usually, listen, like anywhere in Austin's a 25-minute commute, 30-minute commute.
People like my mom who are rocking the Tesla, I'm sure you can get a nice little YouTube app right there on the dashboard star system, whatever the hell they got going on. It's a fancy automobile, really is. The Wags, the damn
computer thing, talks to you. It's like Knight Rider.
The damn thing drives itself. It basically like places you from one lane into the next. It's
I
crazy.
could get a lot of bets done in that damn car.
You damn right you can. I know one thing that we wanted to talk about, the Kyrie Irving situation.
Yeah.
So, my former favorite team, the Brooklyn Nets, they they put that mandate down there on Kyrie, and
How'd that work out?
Now he's coming back, even after all that. So, gotta be careful with what we say on YouTube and whatnot. However, is it not just so fitting that Kyrie, the guy who sacrificed it all, being asked back to the team by the Brooklyn Nets, and away we go.
Yeah, here we are. The journey still continues, man. It's like I don't know, you call it what you want, man. It's a soap opera, right? But you boo this man, and now he's the saving grace because Brooklyn obviously needs some help. The logic behind all this, to where he can play outside of New York but not inside of New York, as if there's a bubble of fucking safety in New York State, is just hilarious to me. I don't know, like these past 2 years, people have lost their fucking mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen friends and families like disown each other over this term that we call anti-vaxxer and non-vaxxer. For what it's worth, I haven't vaccinated. My wife has, and we sleep in the same bed. We all still get along.
Yeah.
Just and I want to put some facts out there, because there's a lot of stuff out there that isn't factual, or that's being just a lot of misinformation out of here. Here's what has happened. Here's what I know of COVID. My son in September was contracted the Delta variant.
Mm-hmm.
I am not vaccinated. I'm in the same house. I waited on him. I, gave him a hug, kissed him. He's, made sure that he was hydrated and stuff.
Right.
I didn't catch anything. Now, look, I'm not saying
Pedialyte, by the way.
Right, Pedialyte for sure.
Great
Stay
stuff.
hydrated. Now, look, I'm not saying that it's a miracle that I didn't get it. I'm just saying that this stuff is wild, it's weird, and it works in different ways.
Yeah.
Like Walsh, your family has had it and has contracted it before. So we know it's real. We know it's out there. Protect yourself for sure, but look into what you're make sure you're researching on the protection that you're putting, or research the protection that's best for you. That's what I'll say.
That's great. We got
I'll be political there.
NY Mentality 1 on the comment saying gonna come in slamming some Gatorade. I like this. I like it. I love when the fans are chiming in. Always good.
It makes the show a lot better. It really is. The show's all about them.
Well, listen, man, I got COVID over the weekend there, and not bad symptoms at all. But this is all about a lot of people. This is kind of the cheap way of getting natural immunity that way. So
that's what my grandma did. I'm not comparing this to. Stop. I don't even want to get dragged for it, because this is. I'm gonna preface this. I'm not comparing COVID to smallpox or to chickenpox,
as you shouldn't.
As you should not. It is completely different viruses. But my grandma, I was raised by my grandma, and she sent me down to the neighbor's kid's house to catch, chickenpox, right? The natural way to build natural immunity. I'm not saying that and I didn't catch chickenpox. It never worked. I didn't catch chickenpox until I was 14, and that sucked then. It really sucked.
Yeah.
But look, all I'm saying is this thing is real. COVID is definitely fucking real. Protect yourself the best way that is best for you. All right. Not for what everyone else is saying. Do what you feel is best for you. Okay?
Get your zinc. Get your zinc, people.
Yeah. Do your own research.
Indeed. All right, Wags.
Listen to the CDC.
Indeed. I thank you very much for joining us today, and you have a good rest of the night. The man has to get up at 2:30 local time in Austin.
I do.
To bring the people of Austin the news. So thank you very much again. I got to find the applause button on here. Such good stuff. Have a good one, brother. All right, from one guest to another, we got Rich Masana coming up here. Sharp App's own Rich Masana. The guy's been on a heater here Definitely want to be listening to what he's got to say. Rich, you on Twitter at all anywhere?
Yeah, JFan303.
JFan303 is where you're going to find Rich over there. All right, so I just got off the air right there with Adam Wagner of The Horn down there in Austin, Texas. He enjoys himself some Rams, and I think he's going to go with the Eagles as well. Are you going with those same two tonight?
In fact, I listed that parlay. I think at that time Kevin just beat me to it. And Anthony, I think he got it about like 5 minutes earlier. So it's at minus 159 there on DraftKings and BetMGM. Now I just checked the minus 175. So obviously that was the sharp side of that. That's not rocket science right there. We get the news. Mr. Garrett Gilbert is in there for Washington. Best of luck with that. The Eagles, I don't know how much we trust them, but Hurts is playing. So, that's positive sign right there. I think they should go out there and handle business. Now, there's an even better boost on there right now, and that these odds haven't changed.
All right.
Even the cat over here is interested, man.
That's right. What's the cat's name?
That's Steuben.
I'm sorry, Steuben.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought you called it. All right. Never mind.
Steuben says, you'd be an idiot to pass on this. Over on BetMGM, if you have BetMGM, the Lions boost right now is up to plus 150. And, you're going to laugh. Here's what it's on. Eagles to win. Minus 430, minus 450 or something. And the under is 45.5. So Eagles win under 45.5. And right now, I think it's at like 40.
Yeah,
for even money. So that was obviously, put out there earlier in the day. But being the Lions boost, they don't adjust it, fortunately. So I would go over there and immediately lock in that max bet as well.
I like to do this segment on the show called Making Bets Online, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So much thanks on that one. Now that's going to be right in the we're gonna have to see this. Where exactly?
The Lions boost, and in the Discord under promotions, I put like a screenshot where you could find it.
Okay. Very cool. See, folks, this is the benefit of being a member of the Sharp app here. We've got the great Discord channel. How many members we rock in there? Like over 300? Something like that, right? So
count, but
we got numerous channels in there. You can find the picks from the pros. You can see all the different promotions. We've even got a primetime chat channel where we talk specifically about the game and all the different prop bets. Rich, I know you've been very active in there, hooking people up. I know there was one yesterday with Nick Chubb where you got the people some money.
Yeah, and Jason missed out because he's like, I can't find it. I'm looking for it, whatever. I'm like, well, the game started, man. You're like a couple minutes ago. They don't let you, take it, a couple minutes in. But yeah, seems like Nick Chubb, anytime TD boosts, always seem to work out for whatever reason.
Yeah, especially
it might be the only touchdown, Cleveland scores, and it'll be Nick Chubb.
Yeah, and that was a great matchup last night. So. It was a great matchup last night against the Raiders. So, obviously they didn't have their starting quarterback, and it was looking a little bleak there at one point where, Browns weren't scoring any touchdowns. And then, of course, we had the dime thrown in there, too, that got dropped early in the game, which wound up being a big part as well. So that is those are the tough breaks that come with this one. So what's your favorite team in football?
Well, I think this is pretty well documented. In fact, you could see it right on my DFS names, whether DraftKings or FanDuel. My moniker is JetsFan303.
Oh, you poor bastard, Joe.
Yeah, it's pathetic, man.
You and the geek. So, all right. So
I went to that week 2 game here. I live in Denver. I've been out here now. It's like 12 years. And, okay. It's not the first time I've had to run out of that stadium. I thankfully, I'm only about 10 blocks away. So, it's a sprint, than traffic lights. But I think is one of the worst times. Last time they visited Denver, I think they only scored a touchdown. This time they got nothing this year. And I think the time prior to that was when Tebow beat them final minutes, and all the fans were like mindlessly chanting Tebow as I sprinted out of the stadium. So not very good memories for me as a Jets fan at Mile High Stadium, that's for sure.
That's funny. So hold up. So you gotta be. So if you're a Jets and an Islanders fan, you got to be a Mets fan too, right?
Yeah, yep. You got it.
See, I got all the stuff. I'm not too far away there in Jersey, so I know plenty of people. My boy Paulie Parlays, who's been on the show twice, he's a Long Island guy. He likes all different teams though, but nevertheless, any other action that you got going tonight?
Tonight, no. I mean, it's a slow night, man. It just, it really sucks. We're going to lose a lot of NHL games now for a while.
Yep.
I was counting on a big NHL week, keep me occupied there. But then, we did have a soccer parlay midday. Juventus, they did their part, and then I think it carries over to tomorrow where we have Paris Saint-Germain missing a couple people, but they have Messi, so hopefully they should handle a bottom feeder team. We'll see.
I got to ask you, because this is sort of a getting to know Rich segment. I'm new here to the Sharp app. I know a couple of the guys from the DFS Army days, but is betting all that you do? Do you have another like 9-to-5 job, or is this your go-to betting everything?
I do a lot of stuff, man. I'm just
you and me both.
early, late. So I'd say my primary job is as an attorney.
Okay.
I practice.
Hey, I might need you there too. We all might in this whole Discord group.
I mean, I run the gamut there from bankruptcies, to a lot of civil litigation, the landlord-tenant stuff, all over the place, real estate, you name it. And then a lot of DFS too. I think I used to play so much DFS. Like I would just, have a couple grand a night, and I'd be maxing out this contest, 150 lineups, and that contest, and I think when sports betting came into play, it sort of shifted that dynamic because DFS takes a lot of time.
Sure does.
I'd be just going through things till 1 a.m, 2 a.m, and then of course the headache. I mean, you just can't step away. Yeah. This guy, especially in COVID times. I mean, this guy's out, that guy's out. This happens 5 minutes before lock. This happens. I mean, it is definitely a ton of work. So target now more, a lot of single entry. I'll put out, whereas I used to just multi-enter a lot of stuff, throw out a lineup or 3 lineups, and it's a lot more targeted now. If I don't have time to play on a slate, I just don't have time for it. But, and that's what's beautiful about sports betting. When the sports book arrived in Colorado, I've been waiting my whole life to have the sports book there,
Yeah.
And of course, you approach it like a DFS player initially, like, oh, if I could make money in DFS, this is going to be cake. Because in DFS, I have to nail all the players. I have to get this right, that right. All I have to do is get the spread, and of course, everything is harder than it looks, and there's a lot more skill involved, and et cetera. But yeah, it's a great learning curve. It's something I enjoy a lot, and obviously put the time in. And sport wise, I definitely, I would say, other than, it's more one of those things I have to say, like, what sports don't I really follow? Say PGA, not really. NASCAR, the college sports, not so much. Tennis, fringe stuff like that. But basically, other than that, I pretty much follow everything. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I guess you do a lot of work from home.
Oh yeah, that's been it's been huge for me to be able to just tell someone, can I just meet you on Zoom and do it that way? And, instead of having, you think about just how many things are impractical in terms of law and business. Previously, it's like, I would have hearings. I would drive somewhere like 4 hours or something. We go and we'd be there for like 15 minutes. They say something like nominal, and what an inconvenience to everyone, man. Just no respect. This is something we could easily do, over a computer or phone or something. So, I think it'll definitely change the way the world works. That's something that, even when COVID is gone, I think it'll be a part.
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to say too, I was like, Rich is a great guy to follow, especially to, be entangled with here in the Sharp app group, because again, we're talking about soccer games at like 2:30 in the afternoon. Rich is out here watching them. He talks about live bets, different boost bets that you can get throughout the game. So the subscription essentially pays for itself each month, which is very cool. And by the way, make sure you folks out there download the Sharp app, go to sharp.app, and you'll be able to just follow the links along for your Android and Apple devices. That way you get all signed up, you start tracking your picks, you put yourself up against the best guys here in the Sharp app, and we duke it out. It's brilliant stuff. So I gotta ask you, your New York Islanders, rough start this season there at the UBS Center. I didn't realize how many injuries these guys had.
No, I don't. I think even beyond injuries,
or even like COVID,
I mean,
just got
they
out.
pretty much fuck them when the season starts, man. Like this, I mean, you start off a season with like 13 straight road games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That it's just one of those things. Like I
Good
almost,
point.
watching how it's playing out, it's like this is just gonna be a lost season, and especially it's disappointing. Especially how far they got last year. I think you did tell me you're a Lightning fan, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
The first time they lost to the Lightning in the semifinals the year before, first year of COVID, it was sort of like whatever. I mean, they sort of got their ass kicked at times, and they were lucky, make it to 6. But I sort of looking up the second time around, made it to that game 7. It was a close game, but it was not meant to be for the Islanders. So, hockey, I think there's a lot of parity right now as compared to, some of the other sports. So, hopefully they'll be back in the mix next year, but, it's probably not happening this time around.
Yeah. My buddy just went to the game the other night. He went to the new arena and he was just like, it's okay. I think a lot of people, still love the Nassau Coliseum and the raucous times that go there. I mean, that's what a fan wants, they don't want the wine and dine atmosphere there out at the arena. By the way, got a little bit of breaking news. So this for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Leonard Fournette likely heading to injured reserve. I don't know. Maybe he's probably going to miss the rest of the regular season. They have 3 games left. And, you look at those last 3 games, it's at the Panthers, at the Jets, and then home against the Panthers again. So I don't think that they really need him to really go wild or anything like that. But what was really interesting, as a result of that injury, the team signs Le'Veon Bell. I thought that this would be a pretty interesting signing. At first when Brady signed in Tampa Bay, if they could somehow get their hands on him, obviously Lev Bell, much different player than he ever was. But, Tampa Bay, man, they go down a Leonard Fournette and they gain a Le'Veon Bell. Maybe we could find a little resurgence with him too.
Man, I wouldn't count on that.
I know.
I haven't really dug into waivers just because it's so insane this week. I figured that's pretty much my night while watching the game. But Jones would have to be up there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So right now where I stand in terms of season long, I got, a couple of years I've been able to get every team through the playoffs, which is amazing. This year, only 2 of 4. The Win Daily League, I'm down heavy. I need Jalen Hurts to be amazing.
All right.
35, 40 points. Or so. I picked up Minshew earlier in the week just in case. Because I just looking at what a disaster this week was.
Yeah.
Planning stuff out and everything. I was like, just, whoever you can drop, just have Minshew just in case, down there. But I'm pretty sure I'm down a good 20 or so. And the guy I'm up against, he has Sony Michel. So hopefully Henderson sort of cuts in a little bit there.
Yeah.
But I just really need Hurts to just go have a career game. But the only thing going for me in that league is that I do have a history, not in that league specifically, of Eagles quarterbacks. Just amazing games late in the season. I know Big Dick Nick, he came through a couple times for me.
BD.
I mean, he won me a fantasy championship in a 2-quarterback league just coming out, out of nowhere. So, I mean, Eagles quarterbacks late in the season, I'm just counting. My other league I got to buy this week, I'm sitting back. It looks like I'm facing somebody who has Hill and Kelsey. So, that's going to be very interesting. But Eli Mitchell, I got him. He doesn't look like he's returning. DeAndre Swift, he doesn't look like he's returning. And I got $0 waiver dollars. So, going to have to be like Ronald Jones. This one, pretty much every backup running back, you can think of that's available.
So in my hometown league, I'm very ashamed to admit this, but I drafted Ronald Jones in the round before Leonard Fournette. Ooh. I thought he was going to have, I thought Ronald Jones was going to have a huge year, contract season, had a nice cap off to the last season, had a couple nice touchdowns down the stretch, but I thought that he was going to be more motivated, and I thought Lenny was going to be less motivated, right? Like after getting a Super Bowl, I thought he was just going to be like, I'm going to get fat and do what I want to do. But that was not the case. Leonard Fournette actually had an amazing year. So it's funny how that all works out. And I still kept him on the roster the entire year. So, of course, got the handcuff at the right time and got to have it. Another league, I got Antonio Gibson and Devonta Smith going up against Odell Beckham Jr. tonight. So I'm down 6 in that one, but I do have the 2-on-1 advantage, so hopefully we get that. But yeah, I gotta have these fantasy wins, man. I gotta make it through to the Final Four. My biggest fear is that we're gonna get through to the Final Four, and then they're just gonna like put football on hiatus for 2 weeks.
I mean, we'll see. It looks like the NFL is not even going there, though. They don't care. They just want to make money. Like, these guys get sick.
I hope.
It's like, hey, you got vaccines, you got whatever, you get sick, it's on you, man. They just don't care. It's funny because, like, you think when everything originally started, right? Like, think of Rudy Gobert night. Is a bit, I forget the exact date, whatever it was, like March 13th or 14th.
I remember March 11th.
And everyone's like walking out, like, you had like one guy sick, right? It's like, oh, this one guy might have COVID or something. And it was like a less transmissible. Like, right now it's like the entire team it's like 7 guys and 3 coaches and this guy. And they're like, oh, we're still playing, though. That's like, this. But it's huge edge for us. I mean, I would highly attribute paying attention to COVID news and being able to have people to why I've been able to roll with NHL lately for sure. I mean, when you're dressing 4 or 5 defensemen and like this guy's out, that guy's out, and they're like your primary goal scorers and what. I mean, it's hard to just like for these guys to just step in and find chemistry and everything. You've had some massive goaltenders where goalies are getting called up from the minors and all sorts. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And you've been very good with that too. By the way, just a couple picks today from the coaches out there. Fight On is going with Army, Missouri under 54.5. He gave that away about an hour ago. I don't even know if they started. Sorry about that. But he's also got the Seahawks plus 7.5, 2.5 units to win 2. And then Capper Steve's got a couple he's got football in college, San Diego State minus 2, and then Miami Heat plus 2.5 tonight, 1.4 units to win 1.25. So
that's what spread, man. Because the last thing you want to see when you have a bet, you're like, oh, I like this team, whatever, is Steve to come in late. Like, I have 2.5 units on like the other side. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, there's some straight ballers on the sharp bet, man. Steve. Obviously Statstational, the Geek, and who else might tackle the board? Got some wild shit going on all the time. Val with the big parlays going there. So there's some studs out there, man.
I mean, we all had the Cardinals Monday night, and we all like the Cardinals. Everyone likes the Cardinals. They're looking good. They've been rolling. And Steve late with the Rams. And like 4 or 5 units on the Rams. Let's just go hard on them. Jalen Ramsey's out. This guy Higbee's out. This guy's out. It doesn't matter. Like, we're just gonna come in, and of course.
Damn you, Steve. Damn you, Steve.
Those Arizona Cardinals. Ugh.
Yeah, I had a plus 650 ticket on them to win the division before one ball got snapped this season, and just right into the river.
Yeah, I could at least make an excuse for the Rams and say, well, the Rams have a lot of talent. They're still putting together. They're great, on a good team. The Lions, I don't know. That's just inexcusable. Like, from everything Cliff Kingsbury was saying, they just didn't show up to play. I mean, they just care or whatever. So, I mean, if they're that lackadaisical, it's probably stay away from me.
Funny story. I was actually going to take like a stupid like $25 flyer on Lions money line, and right before I did it, I saw Jamal Williams was ruled out for the game with the COVID. I was like, nah, I can't do it now. With like Igobuki is like their top running back.
This Craig Reynolds, though, I guess he does have a bunch of yards.
Yeah. So long story short, I guess you just gotta listen to yourself, Damn shame how that all happens. We got about 10 minutes left up to kickoff. I haven't seen any brand new injury news or anything like that. Nothing that would make any difference into anything. One thing in hockey I thought was pretty interesting tonight. All the games got canceled, and then Tampa Bay Lightning at the Golden Knights tonight. I guess they're still going to play. I haven't seen any information on it, but the lone game on the NHL schedule, and it's a really good one. I actually took over 6 in this one. Tried to get it over 5.5. Juice was a little too much for my liking. Over 6, a little more right around even money. But I'm thoroughly impressed with the Golden Knights. That's like, I don't know what it is, but just a lot of games that I've been betting on them lately, right there in that West Coast window. So I've watched a ton of their games recently. I'm really impressed. I know it's going to be a tough one going up against Vasilevsky, but Vegas is favored minus 125 on the money line at home against Tampa tonight. I just think it should be just a good energy night, like one last game in the NHL before the break. Everybody's watching these guys. Like it'll basically be like an all-star skills competition, I'm hoping tonight.
Yeah, Vegas made me a few units during the week. I think I had them against New Jersey. I had the 60-minute money line there. I think they were like a minus 170, but we would get like the 60-minute for like a minus 110 or plus 100 or something like that, where it's like, oh, I might as well take that. And then I had them on Sunday against the Islanders. Yeah, they're minus one. It's like they're a minus 140, and the Islanders are like, they were minus 140, and the Islanders like plus 120 or something. That's close enough. You just take Vegas. One team is playing phenomenal, their team's playing like ass. So I don't know. But I don't really have a call on tonight's game. What's Vegas like, a minus 135 last I saw?
My 125 the last I saw.
Oh, actually, they came down a little bit, so that's a little tighter now. Yeah, I think that. I mean, again, that game is Tampa. I think it's a close game. I mean, Tampa Bay, obviously, they've had some injuries and stuff, but they still seem to just, get it together.
Yeah, minus 120 on the money line. Actually seeing the total 5.5 at minus 130 on the juice. That's at Caesars Sportsbook right there for that one. But like I said, man, I think 6 is all right. I think we could see a 3-3 game and then hopefully head into overtime. Speaking of overtime, that Vegas Rangers game on Friday night, I don't know if you caught that one. Holy Moses. They went to the 3-on-3 overtime, which was like end-to-end action. I think Pacioretty missed like 3 different breakaways. Rangers even had a bunch of different chances, and then they go to the shootout, and that was absolutely wild. I think it took them like 5 rounds to score 1 goal, but just like one of the better NHL overtimes that I've seen in a really long time. So I love what the Knights are doing.
I hate shootouts. So soccer and hockey. Like I wish, like NHL, like playoff rules. Just keep going, and if you collapse on the ice, like so be it.
You guys are professional athletes. We got a minor league system.
Score a goal eventually. Like it's a war of attrition.
Yeah.
Like in soccer, they go to a certain point. Hey, we're just going to go to penalty kicks in any sort of like Champions League or that sort of competition. So like, just keep playing.
Somebody will dance around all the dead bodies on the ground and put a puck in the net. But no, like I don't mind that rule. Like even like baseball for the extra innings in the regular season, I don't mind it in the regular season, especially baseball because it's 162 games, right? Like you're not trying to blow out everybody's arm.
For sure.
But I think it's interesting, like sometimes that team can't get the damn bunt down, with no outs, and then they're screwed, and then that guy's stuck at second. So I like it. I think it's a bit of strategy, and then the 3-on-3 in hockey is just like phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to see more of that.
I mean, hockey is my favorite sport to watch on like a visual basis. Just the continuous motion and everything. Just how a game can change in a hat. Just all of a sudden, like sometimes when a goal is coming and you don't know, like it's like we're gonna take you to such and such a game real quick. Like it's like no, now the puck's going back the other way. It must be them, and trying to figure it out. Especially playoff hockey, man. Nothing better than playoff hockey. Whew.
Yeah, yes, indeed. I played hockey growing up. I had 2 goals in a game at Madison Square Garden once.
Ooh.
And I came down on a breakaway for the hat trick, and I hit the crossbar. You hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, the goal sports can be cold, too. Those games when there's just 30 shots on goal or whatever, and everything's hitting the crossbar or like, just missing the line or whatever it is. But
you got any, since this will probably be the last show before Christmas, any good plans for Christmas?
Just staying around for the most part. I figure it's probably a shit show traveling right now.
Yeah.
So it's like a fucking perfect storm for like everything to go wrong. Like, just like if there was ever a time for this Omicron to be spreading, right? Like,
yeah, right in the week of Christmas.
But yeah, no, sort of relaxing. I want to load up on a bunch of Southern like barbecue food, like whatever Thursday, figure like I don't have to eat traditional foods, so whatever is good. Man, some like jalapeno bacon, mac and cheese, collard greens, like oh man, some brisket, like it's gonna be good.
I like that. All right, we're definitely gonna get along. I love the Southern food, big brisket.
I have to get the booster on Thursday.
Okay.
I'm NY Mentality 1 on YouTube, so I was actually the one in the chat talking about the Gatorade. Man, everyone from Windale.
Gotcha.
They're like, hey, Rich, like, what's up? Yeah, I remember talking, guys, I don't feel so good. Like I got hit in March, like right before the vaccine came out. Like, and at first I thought like, I was like, oh, this is like punishment for my whole life. Like I've been healthy. I'm like always very energetic. Early up late, go on runs, like whatever. But I was like, I know my dad has like Crohn's disease and like, kidney
I have a friend with it, yeah.
Or like whatever. And I was like, oh fuck, here are the kidney stones. Here's like, because at first like it just hit my stomach. I was like, what the fuck? It's like, it's not like anything you've ever felt before. It's like different. So it's like, what the fuck is hitting me? Like I thought I had like food poisoning. I had like gotten a bunch of tacos from like a cart across the street. I was like, what did they put in that Al Pastor? Like, oh man,
I'm a big Al Pastor fan. Big
carts in Mexico. I'm drinking water in Mexico. I never felt like this.
There's a great taqueria place here in Jersey City, not too far. It's called Taqueria, but you're at like chorizo. I go with the chorizo and the carnitas. Those are my two. Nice. Yeah, those are big.
Yeah, I love Mexican food, but yeah, I know I was just thrown up everywhere. And then like it was actually comforting though when like more stuff started popping up. Like hey, my chest hurts. Now I can't taste anything or smell because I was like, oh, this has to be
Yeah.
Take the giveaway, be like, okay, so I don't have anything seriously wrong with me where like I have to go to the hospital or anything. So that gave me a little bit of comfort. But it took me a good 5-6 days there. I was like, I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't like do anything. I had to like sit certain ways because your stomach just hurts so much.
Yeah.
One position and this position, and then you can't sleep. You can't really sleep, eat, or go to the bathroom for like a good week. Like it did to like force food down is just so tough.
Yeah. I definitely had a much milder case of that, thankfully, but I did a little like preemptive stuff and like taking meds, vitamins and stuff this time.
And the Gatorade is the biggest thing. Like
Pedialyte and OJ.
You sleep 1 hour a night and then you wake up and you're like sweating. Like it's like my college days all over again. Like girls have to be like, oh shit, I gotta like you run to the fridge. Chug Gatorade. Like I just went through like 12 packs, like nothing.
Shit, so I know now too that you're NY Mentality, that you're a Chelsea guy. So we'll be going.
No, it was just more soccer. I'm not a Chelsea.
Oh, got you.
Like, oh, he's a soccer. I should have said, you're a soccer person. I guess he took that as a Chelsea.
Okay. No, Wags is big. He does a radio show down there in Austin. Big with the Austin FC, the new MLS team down there. He does a lot of support.
It's dedication. I mean, he's on Central Time. I'm on Mountain Time when I do this. So there are games like it's like I like. Roll over. It's like Man City starts in like 5:30.
Yeah.
Really, it's degen stuff there, but.
All right. Hey, what is your Twitter handle again? By the way, that way
JFan303.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
JFan as in Jets, like just down to a J, and then fan 303.
All right, we got him. There he is, attorney. Bang, with the Lillard picture on there at the front. Gotta love it, folks.
I love that. I love that image.
Yes, no, it is great. It is great. But all right, so again, make sure you follow Rich there at JFan303. Follow me, Al, at 14a.walsh. Make sure you guys follow the Sharp app at the Sharp app. That on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. A lot of good stuff coming. I got some good stuff for Christmas coming that I'm going to upgrade the little studio that I got here. Hopefully get this.
I'll like work on this. This is a new little setup. I wanted like the stained glass and like.
I like it. It's very Christmas-ish, with like the church windows and whatnot.
I'm like, how do I fit this in like moving forward? I'll probably like put some stuff around it, maybe some like team flags or like something.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we can have like a decor contest. Everybody's in. Also, make sure you guys download the Sharp app. Go to sharp.app. You're going to get the link over there. It's going to have, for your Android, your Apple devices and everything like that. Once you guys sign up, make sure you get acquainted in the Discord channel. You're going to be able to talk to guys like me, Rich, Geek, Statsational, Anthony, Fight On, everybody, all the guys that are doing great stuff here at the Sharp app. So make sure you guys get signed in sooner than later. You can start tracking your picks and go up against the best in the biz that we got here. So, Rich, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Good luck on all your bets tonight.
Let's go. Just don't go too much shit. You go over the total over 45.5, but if Washington doesn't score, that'll help.
Yes, indeed. All right, folks. I got a wild idea since I got the Santa hat and I got COVID and I ain't got shit to do this Christmas. I got a wild idea for Christmas Day. I'm going to run it by the higher ups and we're going to see if they want to do anything. We might have a show on Christmas Day. We don't know. But until then, stay tuned to the Twitter. Love you guys. Peace.
Awesome.